what happened was Friday night, Amy and Ari and I were all kind of a little bored.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's my birthday. Oh, I cannot believe it's my birthday. I will tell you that last year on my birthday, I was a little down. Some things had happened in my personal life that I was unhappy with and a little brokenhearted over. And I remember, not even really wanting to go anywhere or do anything on my birthday. Plus, earlier in the week, I'd had to go to the DMV. Ugh, that's a way to ruin your whole week right there. Anyway. And I remember Amy just being like, we have to go somewhere. We have to do something for your birthday. So we did. Me and Ari and Amy, we went out to Cheddar's and we had a nice meal and it was fine. I really was not in a good place last year on my birthday. However, in the year that has followed that, I've done a lot. I've done so much. This year has been an incredibly deep year for me. I did a deep dive into my own spirituality, into my own beliefs, into just my gifts. I have spiritual gifts. I'm clairaudient. I hear the spirit world. I always have. I love my relationship with what I label my guides. Some are angels, I know for a fact. Some are, ascended beings. It's hard to really explain, and I don't want to weird anybody out, but I really spent the year listening, and not just listening, but following, not arguing so much, because I argue with them all the time, because their advice is very often counterintuitive and puts me in places I'm uncomfortable with. But I didn't do that this year so much, or at least I learned over the course of the year to not argue so much, to trust more. And this year has been a year of miracles, just beautiful things occurring that I am so grateful for. And I spent a lot of time in quiet mode, not on social media. I'm not sure if I think I put out vlogs for both Amy's and Ari's birthday. I'm not sure I've done much other than that. Social media wise, I've just been quiet. I've went inside. I talked to God like a lot this year. And it's been beautiful. I have learned so much about myself, about my strength, about what I really want and believe, and what I think that is really happening with this shift. If you guys know me well, I've talked about this shift since like 2016. I knew it was coming. I knew the day it was going to start in January of 2020. It doesn't really conclude. The first part of it concludes in the spring, May of next year. But then there's like about an 8-month series of like I don't know, maybe we want to use the term cleanup. I'm not sure. I don't think it's going to be fun globally on the planet. But after that, I've always been shown that we are going to move into this world of beautiful light and love and balance and harmony again. And that everything that we've gone through these last 4 years and the next year is going to have been worth it, because we are clearing a lot of darkness off this planet. And that's a good thing. You know, the best piece of advice my guides have given me through this whole thing, they're like, don't take sides, because the truth hasn't been revealed yet. So any side you take is going to be wrong. So I've just been with God, you know. I've just stayed there and tried to seek out truth in my own life and be kind. You know, people are struggling out there, y'all. If you're struggling, my heart is with you. You know, I hate it. I hate it. But I trust it, because I trust God, and we're going to be okay on the other side. You know, I believe that. So this year, this year I am going to put the things I've learned, particularly in the last 2 months, I'm going to put them into play. And I'm going to try something with my life that I haven't, I'm not going to say I haven't tried before, but that I've been like a child playing with, like, you know, adult toys. But I feel like I have a better understanding of how to use my own mindset and my spiritual gifts, and I really am going to create something beautiful in this coming year. I'm going to tell you more about that tomorrow. Amy says I have a funny bang. I just think my hair is a mess from being outside in the Florida heat all night. Problems like in my own head right now with so many conflicting thoughts and ideas, and like, because everything's changing so much. And I was like, let's just go. We're going to El Patron for dinner. We're just going to go to El Patron for dinner. They have an amazing Mexican buffet. They're like 5 minutes from Disney Springs. Totally recommend it if you guys are here. I mean, they're great anytime, but their buffet is a fantastic deal. I can't tell you how much it is right now because I don't remember, but it's incredible. I love their buffet. They get busy though for it, so you want to get there early. Anyway, so we go over to El Patron, not really thinking of it as anything much. We just went for dinner, and we had a great dinner. And I decided I wanted fajitas because I thought that would be like a healthier choice, you know, for Mexican food. That would be a healthier choice. I forebode the queso on the way there. I'm like, we are not getting queso. We did get chips and salsa though. And I had the fajitas, but then after the dinner was over, I was kind of like, you know, I knew we had all these plans and everything. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to get dessert. I'm going to get the tres leches cake because I love it. And I said that to the waitress. I said, you know what? It's my birthday on Monday, so I think I'm going to have the tres leches for dessert.
not thinking anything of it, because I feel like I'm kind of on the other side of come sing happy birthday to me. So I didn't think anything of it until all of a sudden they were putting a hat on my head. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Martina. Happy birthday to you. And everybody was singing happy birthday to me. And I was a little taken aback. And I had this big blue sombrero on my head, and we were all laughing, and nobody had had alcohol either. It was just such a funny, silly, fun moment. And even at the time, we're like, you know what? This was my birthday dinner. This was my birthday dinner. It was everything I could have wanted. It was delicious food. It was a great time, and a great big blue sombrero. It was fantastic. And then Saturday, my foot was acting up because we had to, that must have been, maybe that was Saturday night. That must have been Saturday night, because Friday we did the Behind the Seeds tour, and I had stood for a whole hour, which is not something I tend to do much anymore, which is kind of embarrassing to say, but since COVID, since all the lockdowns and everything, I haven't really done a lot of walking or standing, and which is why I'm struggling so much with my physicality. But I had stood the whole time during the Behind the Seats tour. In fact, I cried when we came out of the Behind the Seats tour. I cried because I thought it was a half-hour tour. When we got there, they said it was going to be an hour, and I didn't know if I would make it. And I did, and I cried, and it was a beautiful moment, but then I was dead. Like, for the rest of the day, I was so wiped out. But, so then I had sat with my foot up most of the day because I had a problem with my foot the next morning from all that standing. And so it was Saturday night, we went to El Patron. But then Sunday, we came and checked in here at the Drury, and we pretty much headed out almost right away. We went to Disney Springs because my favorite performer was playing on my favorite stage, and I'm telling you, that was a gift from God, because I had been praying about it a little bit, because I love this guy. His music, it goes into my soul. I love everybody out there. Everybody's great. But this particular performer, Nicholas Marks, I've known him for, good Lord, I don't even know how long. Over a decade now I've known this man. And his music has always spoken to me. Like, from day one, I still remember the night I met him. And I just remember that music just like filling up my heart. I love it. He's one particular song. It's a song he actually wrote. It's my favorite piece of music on the planet. And as soon as he saw me, he played it. I was like, thank you. So not only did I get my favorite artist on my favorite stage, but I got my song. So it was a good night. It was a good night. And we had fun. And he's always so playful anymore, and comes over and plays, and just, we had a good time. And then I talked to him for a little while at the end of the night, and I told him, I said, I asked for you here for my birthday, and so I'm really grateful that you were here tonight. And he's like, oh, it was meant to be. I'm like, it was indeed. It's just nice, it's just nice. We've got a history. Anyway, it was nice. And after that, his last set ended, and then we chatted for a bit. So it was almost 11, and Disney Springs was closing, and we were all starving. We had gotten drinks at the Hangar Bar earlier, but we hadn't gotten anything to eat. So we were all so hungry. But Disney Springs was closing. So I don't like going into a place when they're about to close. I used to wait tables when I was younger, and I won't do that to somebody. So we're like, I don't know what to do. Should we just see if we can find a quick service and grab something? Should we go back to the hotel? We weren't sure. And as we're leaving Waterview Park, if you don't know where that is, it's right next to the Hangar Bar. We see Gideon's, and there's like almost no line. And Ari and I in particular, we looked at each other because they have a special cookie right now, only on Saturdays and Sundays. It's a guava cream cheese stuffed sugar cookie. And we had read about it, and we both were wanting that. And we're like, oh my gosh, do you think it's so late at night? You think they still have any? And so we're like, she's like, I'm going to go ask if they have any. Turned out they did. So we got in line, and they also had a limited edition sea turtle cookie. And given my whole sea turtle theme for the year, I was like, oh, well, if they'd had the sea turtle cake, I would have totally gotten that. But then that would have unjustified my tres leches cake. So that's probably good that it didn't. So we got the cookies. Everybody got 2 cookies. Amy got a peanut butter crunch cookie and a turtle cookie. Ari got the same as me, the turtle cookie and the sugar cookie, the guava sugar cookie. And we came home, and we didn't eat them that night, though, because it was late. Oh, we didn't come home, actually. You know what we did? Because we were starving. And what do you do when it's like 11:30 at night and you're starving? I'll give you a minute to type it in the comments below. What do? You go to Denny's. So we ended up at Denny's. There's one 5 minutes down the road, right near El Patron, actually. So we went there and I had a burger, and it wasn't very good. I don't know. Their food wasn't very good this time. We go to that Denny's a lot, and actually they're usually pretty fine. But their meat has changed. Their bread has changed. I don't know. It wasn't very good. They have the 2, 4, 6, 8 value menu back again, though, which is interesting. Wasn't as good as it used to be. My youngest kid and I used to eat there a lot. Where we used to live was like the Denny's was in the parking lot of our apartment, and we used to go over there like every day, and we would get stuff. We were so poor, so we would get stuff like, okay, but only the $2 or the $4. That's all we can do. We can't do 6 or 8. So it was kind of exciting to see it back again, but then it was kind of a disappointment because there really wasn't anything good on it. But I got a burger, and Amy and Ari got breakfast, and we at least weren't hungry anymore. I came back to the resort or to the room, and we were just exhausted. We were wiped out. But I really wanted to see something from an astrologer that I follow, that he had put up a live video earlier in the day, and I wanted to see it because I just kind of wanted to get it just for what the week was doing. So that took about an hour. But by the time that was done, I think I think Amy was the last one up. Ari fell asleep during the thing we were watching. I fell asleep almost immediately after, and then Amy was out, and that was it. Now, we had to be up early, though, the next day because we had asked to change rooms. When we checked in, we were put in a room on the 3rd floor. And ordinarily, I'm not really a snob about the view or whatever, but we paid for the good view this time. We got the nice room because it was my birthday. We upgraded on our room, and we paid for the nicer view. And really what we were getting was a rooftop view because we were on the 3rd floor. And so we went back down to the desk almost immediately and asked if they had something on a higher floor. I always request a high floor, so I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, but we got stuck in that 3rd floor room. And they told, Amy actually went down, and they told her that they didn't have anything right now, but in the morning, somebody was checking out of the 14th floor, and if we wanted it, we could have it. So Amy came back, we confabbed, and then she went back down, she said, yes, we want it. If anyone from the jury sees this, thank you so much for being so wonderful. So we knew we were going to have to check out of this room at 11 in the morning. So we got up early. We had Topolino's breakfast reservations at 11:30. That was going to be since I wasn't doing Ohana anymore, I'd already decided I didn't want to do Ohana because Ohana for me, I love it. The food is great. But on an emotional level, Ohana is about being poor and being able to afford this extravagant thing and then being, gluttonous, and that's not who I want to be anymore. That's not the vibe that I want. I want to reset Ohana and reclaim it as something else. But for right now, that's really where it sits. And so I didn't want to do that. So we had decided not to do Ohana already. So we were going to do Topolino's for breakfast. So it was going to be something new. Hope you're still with me. I feel like I'm rambling a lot. But anyway, then they called us at like 10:30 and said actually the room upstairs was already ready. We didn't have to stow our stuff and come back later in the day. It was ready. So we canceled breakfast reservations and we spent the time moving all the stuff up to the 14th floor, which is where we are now. And I've showed you the view from up here. It was so worth it. The fireworks last night were incredible. I'm going to try to film them tonight on my iPhone if I can figure out how to work it. And then I think Well, probably in the next video. I don't think I'm gonna have time to put it in this video, but I'll do a side-by-side comparison of the fireworks, and we'll see how good the new phone is. But anyway, so we moved up here into the room, and that was when my guides honestly said to me, they're like, you know, because we were talking about going to Magic Kingdom or, you know, whatever, and that's when my guide said to me, they're like, oh, that's your day-to-day life. You go to Magic Kingdom, you go to Epcot, you go to the parks. I live 99% of my life inside the Disney bubble. I rarely go anywhere else. You know, we get groceries delivered, so we don't need to go to the grocery store. And our Denny's is usually Captain Cook's over at the Poly. Like if we just want to go out and grab something easy to eat, we go to Captain Cook's. You know what I mean? It's like, this is where we live. And so they're like, oh, but what you don't do all the time is have a really nice resort to hang out in and spend time in. So that's when I just was like, you know what? You're totally right. Let's just hang out. Let's just have a chill girls' day at the pool. And so that's what we did. It's pool time. And we spent all day at the pool. And we got drinks at the pool. We ordered dinner at the pool. It was really fun. And we were there all day, morning to night. And that's why I'm a little bit red today. My sunblock kind of wore off, I think, at some point. But it was great. It was great. And then we came up here and we watched fireworks, and then they went home. But in that amount of time too, I had moments that were just for me, you know, like I spent some time out on the balcony at 519 on Sunday because that was my solar return. That's when my sun returned to the exact spot it was in when I was born. So I did a moment for myself then and just really enjoyed closing out one year and starting a new one, especially one with so many hopes and dreams involved in it. I just really wanted to be intentional and mindful. So I did that for myself. And then last night I sat out there on the balcony and I watched the sunset, which was exquisite. That sunset was out of control. It was so beautiful. And so then today I'm just kind of hanging out in the room. I'm getting some stuff done. I've been doing some recording like this for the vlog, and just kind of touching base with God and being still. And it's been really nice. It's been a really nice day. It's been a really good birthday. I've enjoyed every minute of it. Last year wasn't so good. I'd had some really sad, kind of honestly heartbreaking stuff happen the week of my birthday. So that when my birthday came along, I wasn't really wasn't feeling it. And it was Amy that forced me to go out anyway. We went to Cheddar's, actually. We didn't even go to Disney. We just went to Cheddar's, and it was nice. They have a Monte Cristo sandwich there, which is, if you know, you know. I don't even know if they still have this here, but the Blue Bayou used to have a Monte Cristo sandwich. That's where I first tasted it. And my mother got it all the time when we were kids. We always did our dinner at the Blue Bayou when we would go to Disneyland. And Cheddar's Monte Cristo has... Sorry, somebody just dumped a bunch of water from the balcony upstairs. It was very strange. Wasn't expecting it. But the Monte Cristo sandwich at Cheddar's is very reminiscent of that. It hits all the same flavor notes. So, you know, it was a little reminiscent of my youth at Disneyland, and that was enjoyable. That's why I go to Cheddar's, is usually to get that. Cheddar's is a nice restaurant, though. I like it. But anyway, that was last year. This year was entirely different. The tone was different. Everything was different. And I can't imagine what next year in Alani is going to be like. I hope you stay with me for the journey, because I think it's going to be really fun. But that was it. Birthday 2024 is in the books. I'm really blessed.